The world of battery energy storage is evolving faster than the solar market can keep up, it seems. Every day, I feel like I'm meeting a new entrant into the market, and installers, let alone homeowners, truly have their homework cut out for them to keep up with the evolution of this technology and the way that it benefits the sector. I want to take a moment and dig into kind of how the sector has evolved and where we think it's going, in particular, how that benefits the homeowner and what applications we might be able to consider as a result. I'm joined by Ram Bhat, the head of product at TeraHive. We're live at the SunCast Media Stage here at NABCEP 2025 in Reno, Nevada. The SunCast Media Stage is brought to you by Open Solar, PV Amps, Franklin Whole Home, CPS, and TeraHive. But Ram, thank you for joining us here on the stage.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and look forward to explaining the audience about the market, our products, and what's coming down the pipeline.
Ram, you've had a tremendous amount of experience that your partners get to benefit from. You've had experience in fuel cells, in flywheels. You've worked for, qualifiably the leader in conversion devices, Enphase, as product manager. And now with TeraHive, thinking about what is the product application or the best product fit for the homeowner. I'd like to hear your perspective then on how the residential energy management landscape has evolved, especially post NEM 3 in California. And what does that mean for energy storage systems as a category and the residential market?
Yeah, so, Enphase and other companies primarily started as a PV company, right? PV inverter companies. And the market used to be very lucrative. You used to get a lot of credits for exporting power back to the grid, and the ROIs for PV systems used to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
With NEM 3.0, that has flipped on its head. So if you're a homeowner, you do PV only installs, the ROIs don't pencil anymore.
Right.
They've gotten more and more difficult. So what that means is you have to add battery to an existing PV install, store it, and use it later for the economics to pencil out.
Right.
And what that means is the market before, the battery market itself, was primarily affluent customers doing batteries for backup. And the market has shifted tremendously, where now people are buying PV plus batteries for ROIs and returns on projects, right? So you have this new market segment which cares about ROI. That means your total installed cost has to be significantly lower than what it used to be for these projects to pencil out. So there's a new market for PV and battery installers. If they can address this, what I call as a middle income market with features and products that meet the needs of this market, it's a huge market. It's not a market for everybody. You'll have to be cutthroat on cost, price, having the right features that are easy to use. So it's an exciting time in the industry.
It sounds like load shifting, or the ability to actually move the time where you generate electricity later in the day or a different time of day when the time you use electricity, is the primary application for battery storage now for homeowners?
Yeah, that is the primary application for battery storage for homeowners in California.
In California.
Right.
In order to optimize the benefits of NEM 3, or rather the detriments of NEM 3.
Rather the detriments of NEM 3. Exactly, Nico, right? So you used to get, 30 cents a kilowatt hour to export. Now it's like 4 cents.
Yeah.
So it's better to store it, use it later, right?
Right. And to use it as a cost offset in a time of use fashion against when would otherwise be your highest cost electricity, is that
exactly.
right?
Yeah, highest cost of electricity, like San Diego Gas and Electric in the evening, like 60 cents a kilowatt hour.
Does it seem like every battery storage application or energy storage management system is now integrating this capacity for load shifting, or is that still a technology that's on the fringe, on the grid edge?
Well, all the ESS vendors are trying to do this, right? Where we differentiate ourselves, where we are built AI first, software first, trying understanding homeowners' needs and making decisions. The software makes autonomous decisions: when to charge the battery, when to discharge the battery, what mode to turn on when. Let's say you have a storm event coming, it will automatically adjust modes to suit your mode of operation. You don't have to remember to go into your app and switch modes. These are the things that we are introducing first, and we have it first because we were a software first and a homeowner first mindset company,
Okay.
where we started with software and had flexible building blocks of hardware products that enable the use cases.
It kind of reminds me back when Nest was introduced, right? Because up until then, it was it was a very hardware-focused industry, HVAC. You get this dumb machine that like has one set point, and you have to move it manually.
Exactly.
But we just didn't have the capacity when the HVAC industry became embedded in the home infrastructure to allow the system to think for itself. And I feel like we've seen this transition in the energy storage sector as you're describing. We know that the average homeowner thinks about their utility bill or thinks about their electricity in the home on average 7 minutes a year, right? So you have to ask yourself, am I going to ask the homeowner really to think about when they're going to optimize their battery? How many homeowners are thinking about the reason the Nest sold so well is that homeowners could say, okay, now it's going to learn my habits and it's going to adjust my HVAC accordingly. It seems like you see that there's a move towards this kind of adaptation for home energy storage. I'd love to hear what do you see what else do you see that's going to help increase adoption of home energy storage specifically?
Right. So as you pointed out, right, autonomous AI systems or autonomous decisions are the foundation of it. Well, what is critical for this industry to move forward is lower cost. You got to have install costs included 13,000 all in battery and the inverter, right?
Yeah.
To pencil out. So what does that mean? That means not only you have a software, but you have robust architecture, right?
Right.
I'm a huge fan of DC architecture.
DC coupling.
DC architecture. If you have the inverter on the same bus, you have the battery on the same bus, you have the EV charger on the same bus, you're eliminating so much hardware, so much cost.
And a lot of loss.
So much efficiency loss, right? And it simplifies everything. You can fast charge your cars, there's so much more. So along with our software, we have a robust DC coupled architecture, and our building blocks are modular and easy to integrate. Like, so that enables us to, today we're starting with DC coupled batteries that are split. If you want a full home backup, you can buy our switch box, which is an MID. Our inverter has an inbuilt MID in it, which lets you do go backup. So we enable homeowners and installers to have all kinds of flexibility with the fewest boxes on the wall, right? So it reduces costs, it reduces install time, it reduces wiring errors, things like that. We want to be done in a day when you talk about battery and ESS installs for these systems to pencil out, right? So we have our foundation of our technology development is that, and our products are evolving on that foundation where we want to be affordable and make lives easier for installers and homeowners.
As the industry began to wrap its head around battery attachment, the inverter manufacturers, notably your former employer, among them, started to think about integrating OEM battery products. But historically, we've seen this bifurcation between energy, sort of battery management, battery storage, and power conversion. What does it mean from an innovation perspective, a technology development perspective as a product owner, to have different battery storage versus different inverter solutions? And how do you see that solution from a homeowner's perspective? Where's that trend line going?
Yeah, great question, right? So what I used as a philosophy is open source versus closed source, right?
Sure.
The former is the closed source where that's the mindset. We have a different mindset where we feel that the batteries themselves are going to get commoditized. The cost curve is going to be ridiculously lower. So we are going from a software mindset where we allow integration, not today, but we'll allow integration of all kinds of batteries on our platform, which we become a system player that enables all kinds of batteries to work and integrate together and give homeowners the flexibility to adapt, right? So we're starting with one battery vendor. We'll start another battery vendor soon in the next 2-3 months, which comes out with our meter collar product. And and the third battery vendor will come out early Q1. So that's how we think about the market, and that's how we are having an open source sort of mindset to this problem.
So it sounds like you see that there will continue to be energy management systems that sit as the sort of operating layer, and then hardware vendors that.
Correct. That's what we see as the energy management systems that sit as the operating layers. And the more hardware vendors you can integrate, the easier it is for installers to serve different regions. Because the hardware is code compliant.
Sure.
There's no way one single vendor knows about every single code compliance globally, right? So it makes that transition easier. We worry about the EMS and they work about local code compliances.
Talk to me then about the factors that homeowners should consider when they're thinking through the various proposals that they get from installers. How do you choose different battery storage and inverter solutions?
Yeah, great question, right? So a homeowner is very seldomly go in their garage, open the hardware, or go outside and see it, right? So their experience with the system is going to be through the app.
Yeah.
Make sure the app is robust and things like the autonomous behavior, which we spoke about, right? We don't want the homeowner thinking about their needs. Like, we have awesome dashboards, reports that they get end of the month that gives them granular visibility on what happened. If they want to look in the app, we provide them the visibility, right? So great software and autonomous operation is number 2. Number 2, with the turmoil in the market, warranty and longevity becomes a critical factor.
Absolutely.
Right. So our parent has been around 50 years and they back our warranties and the products. So it's a huge thing. And the third thing is flexibility. Like, we offer all kinds of different configurations for different homeowner needs. And our concepts of integrating different vendors will help with that flexibility.
Yeah. I feel like maybe if I could add one more, and this is something that you'd probably agree with, is customer support, right? The ability to have a crew local to the market who understands what the installer's needs are. How do you think about customer support?
Absolutely critical, right? So all our installers tell us that homeowners are going to call them first, right?
Yeah.
Any the minus this
That's
issue.
right.
So we strive to make their lives easier. First, by system testing products in our lab, rigorous testing, so you don't have issues. And then second, we have a US-based customer support team with an SLA less than 24 hours, right? So we're going to resolve the issue. Either ship you a new battery if there's something happens, or new systems without questions asked, right? With minimal RMA processes and things like that. So it's all about installer and customer.
24-hour response time.
Yeah, 24-hour response time.
That's the commitment, or that's the goal?
That's the commitment in 2025.
Got it. In 2025. Fantastic. Well, speaking of 2025 and beyond, paint me a picture of the roadmap. What do you think is coming down the pipeline, maybe from the perspective of TeraHive, but just how do you see the industry evolving or centering around your vision for the future of batteries?
Yeah, so let me start with TeraHive, right? Like, so we are going to offer all kinds of offerings for products, right? So we started with full home, partial home, grid tied with our split system. The next, we are going to launch an all-in-one system, just like the Tesla Powerwall 3, with an MID, with amazing customer support, right? Amazing offerings, right? That's going to be launching soon, end of Q2, early Q3. And then the end, couple that with bidirectional, EV charging, right?
You've got my ear.
Yes. So we have all the features that a homeowner can hope for, and in a flexible manner. So you don't have ton of boxes like I see.
Yeah.
And the industry has to evolve in a similar manner because the world has shifted so much, right?
Yeah.
It has to be low cost, highly efficient, highly reliable, and customer first mindset. Like whoever can make that transition will succeed. Whoever can't is going to have a difficult path succeeding in this market.
I'm really intrigued and want to understand the perspective of a product owner. How do you determine the product size, right? So there's a lot of consternation in the market that it's hard to find something that can replace Tesla when Tesla can't deliver for 6, 8, 12 months, right? How do you think about the specific product size that you want to bring to the US market?
Great question. So we don't dictate sizes. We provide modularity.
Got it. Okay.
In the same box, right? I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you go and use this 13 kilowatt hour system. Like it won't work for you. So we give you the options of different SKU. If you want a SKU that wants to go 7 kilowatt hours, we have a SKU. If you want to go 20 kilowatt hours, we have a SKU.
Sure.
You have a higher power SKU, a lower power SKU. So we give you the flexibility in the least amount of boxes, so you don't run into UL 9540A type issues, spacings, things like that, right? So we are modular at the same time, all in one. That's we have options for customers depending on whatever you want.
Fantastic. Well, I know that there are folks here at NABCEP who have been going by and checking out and learning more about TeraHive and what you guys are doing. I look forward to folks reaching out and wanting to learn more online. If someone is listening to this after the fact, how can they find more TeraHive, or how can they connect with you directly?
Great question. So check our website, TeraHive.io as our website. If you want to talk to our sales team, please email steve.walden@terahive.io to get the latest on the product launches and pricing and things like that.
Fantastic. Again, that's steve.walden, W-A-L-D-E-N, like the pond, at TeraHive with one R.io if you want to get an actual quote on the TeraHive product.